The glass doors of the upscale restaurant slammed open so hard that every fork froze midair. And there she stood, Raina Malik, the billionaire's only daughter, trembling with a rage no one in the entire city had ever dared to confront. Her designer jacket hung off her shoulder, her eyes were swollen from crying, and the manager, chefs, and servers watched in helpless silence. For months she had been spiraling, breaking rules, throwing tantrums, pushing away every soul who tried to reach her. Yet in that moment, as she stood in the golden lights of the restaurant lobby, her world ready to collapse again, destiny pushed someone unexpected into her storm. A man sitting at the far corner table slowly rose from his seat. He was tall, tired-eyed, wearing a simple white shirt with rolled-up sleeves. Nothing about him screamed wealth or power. His hands were calloused from work, and his voice carried the quiet heaviness of someone who had lived through real struggle. His 8-year-old daughter clutched the edge of his shirt, glancing nervously at the scene. That man was Arman Ali, a single father who worked double shifts just to keep his child in school. And in a world filled with people too scared to deal with the billionaire's daughter, he was the only one who didn't look away. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of humanity, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to K&H Stories. Your support truly keeps these heartfelt stories alive. The story of how Arman stepped into Raina's life began long before that night. Raina was known across the city not for her wealth, but for her unpredictable behavior, public outbursts, sudden disappearances, constant conflicts. People whispered about her being spoiled, arrogant, out of control. But behind the bravado lived a girl drowning in loneliness. Her father, billionaire industrialist Yusuf Malik, had built an empire brick by brick. But each brick had widened the gap between him and his daughter. After Raina's mother passed away, her world had turned gray, and every attempt at help was met with rage or withdrawal. Tutors, counselors, distant relatives, no one lasted more than a few days. Arman, on the other hand, lived an entirely different life. He was a delivery rider by day, a restaurant helper by evening, and a full-time father every second in between. His daughter, Hania, was his anchor, soft-spoken, curious, and the bright spot in every dark corner of his life. Since losing his wife to illness, he had learned to navigate the world with quiet strength. He had no luxury, no security, no staff. Just grit, love, and a determination to raise Hania right. That night, Arman took his daughter to the restaurant only because she had scored full marks on a school test and asked if they could celebrate somewhere fancy just once. They saved for weeks. It was meant to be a peaceful evening, but fate had other plans. As Raina stormed inside, yelling at the manager for something trivial, another party gone wrong, another set of friends walking out on her, everyone stepped back. The whispers began again. She's impossible. She's going to break something. Call her father. No, he'll just send someone to calm her. But Arman didn't whisper. He watched her not with judgment but with recognition. He knew that look, the look of someone who wasn't angry but broken, the look of someone who wanted to be understood but didn't know how to ask. When she suddenly pushed a tray off a nearby table and sent glasses shattering across the floor, Hania flinched. Arman stepped forward, not because he wanted to interfere, but because he sensed that the girl might hurt herself in her outburst. He approached slowly, gently positioning himself between her and the broken glass. For the first time that night, Raina froze. This man wasn't scared. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't backing away. He just stood there, calm, steady, present. The restaurant fell into a hush as Arman looked at her, really looked at her with eyes that held no judgment, only concern, only humanity. Raina didn't know how to handle that. She stepped back, confused, defensive, trembling. Her breath hitched like she wanted to scream again but couldn't. Arman quietly asked the staff for a chair and placed it near her, not forcing, simply offering. She stared at him, then at the chair. Then, for the first time in months, she sat. That moment changed everything. Word spread quickly that the only person who managed to calm the billionaire's daughter wasn't a doctor, a psychologist, or an expert. Just a single dad with a soft voice and a stronger heart. Within days, Yusuf Malik himself appeared at Armin's small apartment. He didn't come with bodyguards. He came as a father, tired, desperate, and frightened for his daughter's future. He asked Armin to help Raina, to mentor her, talk to her, guide her, or at least try to connect with her in whatever way he had managed in the restaurant. Armin almost refused. He didn't have time, he didn't have the skills, and he didn't have confidence in himself. But one evening, he found Raina sitting alone on the steps outside his apartment building. Tears had stained her face. She was hugging her knees like a child. That sight shattered him. He remembered what grief looked like. He remembered what loneliness felt like. He remembered the nights Hania cried for her mother, and he didn't know how to comfort her. So he said yes. The first few days were rough. Raina lashed out, walked away, challenged him at every turn. She was unpredictable, sometimes